You're listening to the Top One English Plus podcast.
Welcome to Top One English Plus, the podcast where we explore global trends to elevate your English fluency. I'm your host, and today we're taking an advanced look at the fascinating divergence of digital marketing strategies between the two Asian giants, India and China.
It's great to be here, and divergence is absolutely the right word. For so long, we've tended to lump these two together.
Right, emerging markets or something similar.
Exactly, Asian superpowers. But when you really dig into the digital landscape of 2026, you realize they're running on fundamentally different operating systems.
That's precisely what jumped out at me. We're looking at a whole stack of research for this deep dive reports from Royalways on India, Daxu Consulting's work on China, plus these really insightful consumer trends from WGSN.
And the setting is key, right? We're projecting forward to 2026.
Yes, the year's 2026. And the core idea is that even though both countries are these huge digital-first economies, and they're both driven by AI and video, the way a brand connects with the customer in Mumbai is just radically different from how they do it in Shanghai.
It's a difference in digital architecture, in cultural psychology, everything. So I think our mission today is really to unpack that.
Let's do it.
We'll get into the cultural nuances, the incredible linguistic diversity in one, and then the platform architecture in the other, this whole idea of super apps versus a more open web.
And I just want to say, for all of you listening to Sharpen Your Business English, this is just a goldmine. It's not just about learning new words. It's about understanding how to analyze these huge, complex systems.
Definitely.
So let's set the stage. It's 2026. What's the general feeling? What's the vibe?
Well, the vibe, and this is so interesting, is this strange mix of exhaustion and a desperate search for joy.
Exhaustion. I think we can all relate to that already.
Right. WGSN's reports call it the Great Exhaustion. It's a global thing. By 2026, people everywhere, India, China, the US, they're just tired. They're so tired of doom scrolling, of constant information overload.
Okay, so if everyone's exhausted, how does that even work for marketing? Aren't people just tuning out completely?
They're tuning out the noise, for sure. But what they're tuning into are what the reports call glimmers.
Glimmer.
Yeah, these small, fleeting moments of joy, of wellness, of genuine, authentic connection. And that, right there, is the shared foundation for both markets.
I see.
The era of just, aggressive, shouty, targeted ads is fading fast. We're seeing this major shift from targeting to trust.
Targeting to trust. I like that.
The algorithms are, of course, smarter than ever. I mean, AI is the basic infrastructure now. It's not some buzzword anymore.
Right.
But that human connection, that's the real currency.
It sounds like a huge philosophical change for brands. So, okay, this desire for connection is shared, but the tools they use are different. Let's talk about the biggest one. Video. Is it just TikTok ruling the world?
Short-form video is, without a doubt, the undisputed king in both places. You simply cannot build a brand in 2026 without a video strategy.
Okay.
But the application of that video is where they diverge. In China, video is all about shoppertainment inside a closed loop.
Shoppertainment. We'll definitely come back to that one.
Oh, we have to. It's this world where you watch something, you laugh, you click a button, and you've bought it. All in seconds, all within one app.
And India.
In India, video is much more about what we could call vernacular discovery. It's the very top of the sales funnel. You discover a cool new product on a reel? Sure. But the actual conversation, the sale, often moves somewhere else.
To somewhere like WhatsApp, I imagine.
Exactly. It jumps from public to private.
Okay, let's unpack India first then. The data from Royalways paints this picture of a digital world that is just so incredibly diverse. It's clearly not just about English-speaking city dwellers anymore.
Not at all. We're seeing the real rise of what's called Bharat.
Bharat.
It's a term used to describe the real mass India that exists outside of those big metropolitan bubbles like Delhi or Mumbai. And the most striking thing about Bharat is the linguistic mosaic.
I saw the number. India has 22 officially recognized languages.
22 official languages.
Ah.
And literally hundreds of dialects. It's staggering.
How does any brand even begin to navigate that?
Well, they have to, because by 2026, the data is clear. Over 60% of Indian users prefer content in their regional language.
Yeah.
We're talking Hindi, Tamil, Bengali, Marathi, Telugu.
So English is no longer the default.
Far from it. And the Royalways report makes this really crucial point. It's not about simple translation anymore. It's about transcreation.
Transcreation, that's a fantastic word. Break that down for us.
Okay, so translation is just taking a sentence in English and finding the equivalent words in, say, Hindi.
Word for word.
Right.
Yeah.
Transcreation is taking the core concept, the emotion of an ad, and completely rebuilding it for the local cultural context.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Think about a furniture ad. A generic ad from New York might show a sprawling loft apartment that doesn't resonate in, say, Ludhiana, a city in Punjab.
Right. Different living spaces, different culture.
Exactly. So a trans-created ad for Ludhiana would work better if it's in the local Punjabi dialect, maybe referencing a joint family living situation, showing furniture that fits that lifestyle. It's about making it feel like it truly belongs there.
It feels homegrown, like it was made by them for them.
Precisely. And this incredible linguistic diversity is the engine driving the next massive trend in India, which is voice search.
This was one of the stats that really surprised me. Why has voice search become so specifically huge in India, maybe more so than in the US or Europe?
It comes down to the user interface.
Uh-huh.
I mean, think about it. Typing on a small smartphone screen can be clumsy for anyone.
Sure.
Now, imagine trying to type in a script like Hindi or Telugu, which have complex characters and conjunct consonants. It's actually physically difficult. It's slow.
Face is just easier.
It's natural. It completely bypasses the literacy barrier for some, and for everyone else, it bypasses the keyboard barrier. It's just the path of least resistance.
That makes perfect sense. So instead of typing out buy basmati rice, they just
say it. The scenario is literally, Alexa, order 5 kilograms basmati rice. Or they're speaking into a shopping app in their native Bhojpuri or Marathi dialect.
And what does that mean for brands?
It means that if your brand isn't optimized for voice, if your SEO strategy is still stuck in the world of typed keywords from 2023, you effectively do not exist for hundreds of millions of potential customers.
Wow. That's a stark warning. If you're not on voice, you don't exist.
It's the reality in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And this is all thanks to huge leaps in NLP, natural language processing, which can finally understand all these different accents and dialects.
This actually connects to another term I saw in the report, GEO, not SEO, but GEO.
Yes, generative SEO. This is the next evolution.
So what's the difference?
Well, in the old days, just a few years ago, SEO was about stuffing your website with keywords, best phone, cheap shoes, things like that.
Right, trying to match what people typed into Google.
Exactly. But now, with powerful generative AI engines becoming the primary search tool, users don't search like that anymore. They ask full conversational questions.
So instead of typing best phone under 20,000 rupees, they're now asking the AI.
They're asking, which phone under 20K has the best camera for taking pictures at night? It's a recommendation they're after, not just a list of blue links.
And the AI doesn't give them a list of links, it gives them a synthesized, direct answer.
Correct. And that has huge implications. It means brands can't just focus on keywords anymore. They have to create what are called content clusters.
Content clusters.
Yes. They need to create entire libraries of articles, videos, and guides that answer these very specific natural language questions. The goal is to become the trusted source that the AI cites in its answer.
It's a shift from targeting keywords to targeting intent.
Perfectly put. It's about understanding the user's real question.
It's funny, the technology is actually forcing brands to behave more like helpful human experts.
That is the great paradox of 2026, isn't it? The more sophisticated the AI gets, the more human and authentic the interaction needs to feel.
And I guess there's no better example of that than how WhatsApp is being used in India.
Oh, absolutely. The numbers are just staggering. The report says over 850 million users in India.
850 million. That's more than double the population of the United States.
It's the default operating system for Indian society. But the big shift by 2026 is that it's not just for chatting with family anymore. It has become a massive engine for conversational commerce.
Okay, walk me through that. Paint a picture of a typical transaction in 2026. How does it work?
All right, so picture this. You're a user, you're scrolling through your Instagram Reels.
Okay.
You see a fashion influencer in Jaipur, and she's wearing this beautiful, locally made kurta. You love
Right.
it. You tap a button on the reel. Now, here's the key difference.
What happened?
Instead of being kicked out to some clunky, faceless e-commerce website where you have to create an account, remember a password, all of that hassle.
A friction points.
All of them. Instead, it opens a WhatsApp chat directly with the brand.
A chat. Okay, and then?
And then an AI agent, or sometimes a real person, depends on the business, pops up and says, "Hi, we saw you like the blue kurta. What size do you need?"
So it's a conversation.
It's a conversation. You can ask questions. Does this fabric shrink in the wash? The bot has the answer instantly. You say, okay, I'll take it. And then you can pay right there in the chat using UPI, which is India's digital payment system. The whole thing is done.
It feels personal. It feels like you're just chatting with the owner of a local shop.
That is exactly the feeling.
Yeah.
It replicates the cure in a store experience, that neighborhood shop where the owner knows you, but it's scaled up to serve millions of customers through AI. It's brilliant.
It turns shopping, which can be a chore, into a simple conversation.
That's it. It removes the process and just leaves the interaction.
So to sum up India, we have this vibrant, open ecosystem. Discovery happens on social, but trust and transactions are built in these one-to-one conversations, all powered by local languages and voice.
A perfect summary.
Now, let's pivot to China. Because when I was reading the China Digital Trends 2026 report and the insights from Dexu Consulting, it felt like entering a completely different world, a fortress almost.
Fortress is a very, very apt description. If India's digital space is like a sprawling, chaotic, open-air bazaar with thousands of entry points, China's is a series of massive, luxurious, completely self-contained megamalls.
Exactly.
The operating principle here is what we call the closed loop.
Closed loop. That's a term we hear all the time when talking about China. Can you define what it technically means in this marketing context?
Of course. It means that the platforms, and we're talking primarily about the super apps like WeChat, Douyin, which is the Chinese version of TikTok, and Xiaohongshu, which is often called RED.
Okay, those big three.
Those platforms are meticulously designed so that a user never, ever has a reason to leave. In the West or in India, you see an ad on Instagram, you click a link, and you go to an external website to buy something.
Standard procedure.
In China, by 2026, external websites for retail are basically relics. They're like ancient history. Friction is the absolute enemy, and leaving the app is the ultimate friction.
So wait, if I'm a brand like Nike in China, I don't build a Nike.com.
You don't. You build a mini program.
A mini program.
Yes, it's essentially an app that lives entirely inside another app. Let's use WeChat as the example. It's not just for messaging.
Right.
Inside WeChat, Nike or even your local tea shop will have its own fully functional mini program. You open it from your chat, you browse an AI personalized catalog of shoes, you can watch video reviews from other users, chat with a customer service bot, pay with a biometric scan of your face, and then track the delivery, all without ever seeing your phone's home screen. You never leave WeChat.
That level of efficiency is just mind-boggling. It sounds incredibly convenient, but from a Western point of view, maybe a little confining.
It's a different mindset. From a Western perspective that values the open web, maybe it seems confining. But from the perspective of a Chinese consumer in 2026, it's just seamless. Why would you want to open a browser, wait for a new page to load, and type in your credit card details for the 100th time when the super app already knows who you are and makes it all happen with one tap?
Yeah, you can't argue with that. Convenience always wins in the end.
Almost always.
And speaking of winning, let's talk about shoppertainment. I'm looking at a number here in the report. Projected to hit 8.16 trillion yuan by 2026. That is an astronomical figure.
It's almost impossible to comprehend. And what that number tells us is that live streaming has matured far beyond being just a trend. A few years ago, it was, just influencers shouting about discounts.
Right.
Now, it's the absolute backbone of the entire retail industry in China. These are high-production, entertainment-first events.
So we're not talking about something like QVC or the Home Shopping Network.
No, it's a different species entirely. It's far more engaging, it's intensely social, it's gamified. You aren't just passively watching someone sell a lipstick.
What are you doing then?
You're watching an interactive tutorial, you're participating in a flash sale lottery that only lasts 30 seconds, you're chatting in real time with thousands of other viewers, you're sending virtual gifts to the host to get their attention. The key psychological shift is this. Shopping is no longer a chore you have to do. It's the entertainment you choose to consume.
Shopping as entertainment. That's a profound shift. But the report also brings up another concept, the private domain. This sounds a bit exclusive. What's going on there?
This is a really important strategic shift. It's a direct reaction to how incredibly expensive it has become to get a consumer's attention.
Okay.
Advertising in the public domain, so that's the main feeds of Douyin or on Tmall, the big e-commerce platform, the costs have just skyrocketed. The cost to acquire a single new customer can be enormous.
So brands are looking for a cheaper, more direct way to talk to the customers they already have.
Exactly. Once they've paid to acquire that customer, their main goal is to move them from the public feed into their private domain.
And how do they do that?
Usually with WeCom, which is the enterprise version of WeChat, they'll entice users to join a private group or add a personal brand representative.
So, is this just a fancy term for an email newsletter or a brand's Facebook group?
It's much, much more intimate and high-touch than that. It's not a generic email blast. It's a real group chat, or even a one-on-one conversation. Brands use this space for what's called clienteling.
Clienteling.
Yeah, it's about nurturing that long-term relationship. A luxury skincare brand, for example, might have a dedicated representative in a WeCom chat with you. They'll ask you how your skin is reacting to that new serum you bought, send you personalized application tips, and give you early access to new products before anyone else.
So you're scaling that personal shopper experience you might get at a luxury boutique.
Precisely. The entire focus shifts from making a quick, one-time sale to maximizing the lifetime value, the LTV, of a customer.
Yeah.
They don't just want you to buy from them. They want to become your trusted friend and advisor.
They want to be your friend. That is the perfect segue into our next big section, which is the cultural heartbeat. Because it seems like in both countries, underneath all of this incredible technology, there is this massive, powerful craving for authenticity, for meaning.
Absolutely. The tech is the vehicle, but the culture is the fuel. And in China, you can see this so clearly in the evolution of guoqiao.
Guoqiao. I know that translates roughly to national trend, right?
That's right. For a long, long time in China, there was a perception that foreign brands were superior, but that has completely flipped. By 2026, we're deep into what people are calling guoqiao 2.0, or new Chinese style.
And what does that mean for consumers?
It means that consumers, especially the younger generations, are actively seeking out products that reflect their modern Chinese identity and their cultural pride. They want brands that get them.
The DAXU consulting report had this amazing example about pets.
Yes. The pet economy. It's just a fascinating microcosm of the whole trend. In urban China, pets are increasingly seen not as animals, but as members of the family, like children.
So they get treated like children.
To an incredible degree. The report mentioned Hema, which is a big fresh food retailer, selling specially designed New Year's Eve feasts for pets.
You're kidding, like a full traditional banquet meal, but for a cat or a dog.
Exactly. Designed with traditional Chinese motifs and ingredients. It's not just dog food. It's a cultural ritual that allows the pet owner to express their love in a culturally specific way.
Wow.
It just shows how this search for meaning touches every single part of life. Consumers are constantly asking, does this product understand my culture? Does it respect my heritage?
And you can draw a direct line from that to what's happening in India, a very similar feeling.
You really can. The homegrown pride in India is enormous. The Royalways report found that 58% of Indian consumers actively prefer to buy from local or small businesses.
That's a huge majority. They're choosing the little guy.
They are. In both countries, there's what you could call an authenticity premium. The days of the super polished, airbrushed, perfect-looking advertisement are over.
So what's replaced it?
Raw and real. People want to see the imperfections. They want to see the behind the scenes. They want to know the story of the person who made the product.
It's such an irony, isn't it? We have AI that can generate flawless, perfect images in a second. And all people really crave is something that looks genuinely imperfectly human.
It's a classic pendulum swing. The more artificial and mediated our world becomes, the more we value that real human touch. And this directly impacts the trust dynamics.
Let's get into that. Influencers. Is the age of the mega celebrity with 50 million followers over?
It's not over, but their influence is definitely waning. In China, we're seeing a very clear shift away from KOLs, key opinion leaders, and towards KOCs.
KOCs, key opinion consumers. What's the real difference?
A KOL is usually a professional, a celebrity, or a full-time content creator with a massive following. A KOC is often just a regular person.
Like you or me.
Exactly. They might only have 500 followers on Zhaohongshu, but their followers see them as peers. Their reviews are trusted because they're seen as completely unbiased. They're not getting paid millions. They just bought a product they like and want to share it. They're basically digital friends.
So as a consumer, I'm more likely to trust a review from a KOC because I know they probably bought that face cream with their own money, unlike the movie star who was paid to hold it up for a photo.
That's the psychology in a nutshell. It's the democratization of influence. And we see a parallel trend in India with micro-influencers as micro-retailers.
Unpack that for me. Give me an example.
Okay, so imagine a fashion creator based not in Mumbai, but in Madurai, a Tier 2 city in Tamil Nadu. She creates all her content in the Tamil language.
Okay.
She has maybe 10,000 followers, not 10 million. but she deeply understands the local culture, the specific modesty standards, the hot and humid weather, the upcoming local festivals. She's not just modeling clothes, she's curating a wardrobe specifically for her community.
And then she's selling directly to them.
Directly to them. Her followers trust her implicitly, way more than they would trust a huge Bollywood star whose life is completely unrelatable. In this landscape, regional trust will always beat national celebrity.
It really hammers home that concept of being hyper-local. It's not enough to have an India strategy anymore. You need a Tamil Nadu strategy and a Punjab strategy and a West Bengal strategy.
You absolutely do. And technology, ironically, is what allows brands to manage that incredible complexity. Which brings us, of course, to the biggest piece of technology of all, AI.
Yes, Section 5. AI integration. We've talked around it, but let's dive in, like this framing. The invisible hand versus the virtual face.
It's a great way to think about it. On one hand, you have AI as the invisible hand working in the background, optimizing supply chains, personalizing ads, doing all the heavy lifting.
And on the other hand,
On the other, AI is literally becoming the face of the brand.
you're talking about virtual influencers. I remember when this was just a weird sci-fi idea. Is this really mainstream in 2026?
In China, 100%. AI avatars aren't a gimmick, they're basic marketing infrastructure. They were used constantly for live streaming.
Why an AI and not a person?
Well, for one, humans need to sleep.
Good point.
Humans also get sick, they ask for raises, they can be unpredictable, and critically, they can get involved in personal scandals that damage the brand. An AI avatar can live stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It can switch instantly from speaking perfect Mandarin to perfect Cantonese, and it never gets tired or says the wrong thing.
From a business perspective, it's a scalability tool.
Pure scalability. It's incredibly efficient.
Okay, it sounds a little dystopian, but I see the business logic. What's the situation in India?
In India, it's still a bit earlier in the adoption curve. It's currently used more as a storytelling device, a novelty. We've seen Kyra, who is billed as India's first virtual influencer. She's used in fashion and lifestyle campaigns. But the trend is definitely moving towards utility, not just novelty.
The outline also mentions this term agentic AI. I've been hearing this a lot lately. Agentic. What does it mean?
This is probably the single biggest shift happening in the entire tech world. Until now, we've mostly used AI to generate things. Generate text, generate images. Agentic AI means the AI has agency. It doesn't just create something for you, it can act on your behalf. It can make its own decisions to achieve a goal you set for it.
So it's the difference between asking AI to write an email to my boss and asking it to schedule a meeting with my boss for next week.
Exactly. In the second case, the AI has to interact with the world, check calendars, negotiate times. It has to act. Now, apply that to commerce.
Okay, how would that work in the Indian market?
In India, where bargaining is such an intrinsic part of commerce, imagine an agentic AI that could negotiate prices for you.
Wait, you're saying my AI could haggle?
Why not? You could tell your agent, find me the best deal in a new refrigerator and I don't want to pay more than 30,000 rupees. Your AI could then go out, scan 10 different e-commerce platforms, and even negotiate with their sales bots to get you a special discount coupon.
That would be an absolute game changer for consumers.
Totally. Now, what about in China?
How does it apply there?
In China, the agentic AI is being used to perfect that closed-loop system. The goal is to predict your needs before you are even aware of them yourself. We're calling it zero-click consumption.
Zero-click consumption.
The AI knows your purchasing habits so well. It knows how often you buy laundry detergent, for example, that it can just send you a notification saying, you're probably running low on laundry detergent, and your favorite brand is currently on sale. Should I just order it for you? All you have to do is say yes. The friction of even having to search for it is gone.
It's incredible. We're really seeing two completely different paths to the same ultimate goals. Total convenience and personal connection.
That's a perfect way to put it. India is using these open networks and the power of voice to bridge language and literacy gaps. China is using these tightly integrated super apps to bridge any and all efficiency gaps.
And the driving force behind both is a new kind of consumer, one who is demanding, know me, respect my culture, and please don't waste my time.
You've got it.
This is powerful stuff. Okay, before we get to our final takeaway, let's pause for our vocabulary spotlight. We have used a lot of high-level industry terms today, so this is a great chance to clarify some of them to help all of you refine your English proficiency.
Love this section. Let's do it.
All right, first up, the word vernacular.
Right, so vernacular refers to the language or dialect spoken by the ordinary people in a particular country or region. In our discussion, when we talked about India's shift to vernacular content, we meant content created in languages like Hindi, Tamil, or Gujarati, the languages people actually speak at home every day, not just the formal language of business.
Got it. It's the real language, not the official one.
Okay, next term, closed loop.
A closed loop is a system where the entire customer journey, from first seeing a product to paying for it and tracking it, happens within one single ecosystem or app. We used it to describe the Chinese model, where you can do everything inside WeChat without ever needing to open a web browser. It's a completely self-contained circle.
Like a walled garden, but a really convenient one. Okay, term number 3, omnichannel. Omnichannel describes a strategy that creates a seamless and integrated shopping experience, whether the customer is shopping online from a desktop or mobile device, by telephone, or in a physical brick-and-mortar store. We used it in the Indian context, where online discovery on Instagram might lead to an offline purchase at a local shop. The key is that the experience feels like one continuous conversation to the customer.
It's not multi-channel, it's one single channel from the customer's perspective.
Yeah.
Great. Fourth term, shoppertainment.
This one is a portmanteau, a word that blends two others, shopping and entertainment. So shoppertainment is commerce that is driven by content that is designed to entertain and educate first and sell second. It's the dominant model in China, especially through live streaming. It's not just a product catalog, it's a full-on show.
Got it. And our final term, hyperlocal.
Hyperlocal means focusing on an extremely small, specific geographical area or community. It goes way beyond just a national or even city-level strategy. It's about brands using AI to customize their messaging based on, say, the specific weather in one district of Mumbai today, or a local festival happening in just one part of Chengdu.
Excellent. Vernacular, closed loop, omnichannel, shoppertainment, and hyperlocal. 5 terms that really do define the future of global marketing.
They really do.
So we've explored the open web of India, the super apps of China. We've seen the rise of voice, of video, of AI agents. After all this analysis, what is the single big positive takeaway that you think our listeners should leave with today?
You know, I think the most encouraging thing for me is that all of this incredibly advanced technology seems to be making the world more human-centric, not less.
That feels a little counterintuitive. How so?
Well, just look at what's actually happening on the ground. In India, voice technology is demolishing literacy and language barriers, giving millions of people who were previously excluded a real chance to participate in the digital economy. That's genuine empowerment.
That's a great point.
And then in China, this powerful consumer push for guochao and the brand's need for a private domain is forcing these huge corporations to finally show deep respect for local culture and to treat customers as individuals to build relationships with, not just as data points on a spreadsheet.
So the future you're describing isn't this cold, robotic, algorithm-driven world we sometimes fear. It's something else.
I think it's smarter empathy.
Smarter empathy, I love that.
At the end of the day, the brand that wins in 2026 isn't the one with the cleverest algorithm. It's the brand that listens the closest.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if that listening happens through a micro-influencer in a village in Punjab or in a private WeCom group in Shenzhen. It's all about that authentic human connection. Technology is just the bridge we're building, but empathy is the destination.
Technology is the bridge. Empathy is the destination. That is a really beautiful and optimistic thought to end on.
I think it's the truth of where we're heading.
Thank you so much for walking us through this incredibly complex and fascinating landscape today. It has been a real eye-opener.
The pleasure was all mine. It's always exciting to get a glimpse of the future.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this advanced analysis of global trends, make sure to subscribe to Top 1 English Plus. We're committed to bringing you these kinds of deep insights to help you master not only the English language, but also the big ideas that are shaping our world.
Join us next time as we continue to decode the world to help you master the language.
Until then, keep learning and stay curious.